Okay, here we go. We're starting back with number 39. It says translate the sentence into an equation. 4 more, okay, then the quotient of a number is 9. Excuse me, I said that so wrong. 4 more than the quotient of a number and 9 is equal to 8. My bad. So let's just break it down. So we got 4 more than. Well, hopefully y'all are good with more than means add. So 4 more than. Quotient is another name for divide. So that's not a division sign. I'm not used to using these tools, so I meant to do that. Okay, so we're going to divide a number, and they're telling us to use x for our number. So we want to divide a number and 9. And so anytime it says division or subtraction, go with the order that they give you. And then it says is equal to 8. And all it did was say translate. It did not say solve. So that would be all that you would be required to do right there. We translated, we should be good. Okay, now then it says solve the inequality for x. Totally up to you. You can go ahead and get rid of fractions, or you can just solve it the way it is. I think it's fine just to solve it as is. With that 1/3 on the x, I can end up doing it both ways. But if I'm going to do it both ways, let me scoot it over. I'm just trying to stay away from that quirky spot on my board. Okay, so if I'm going to go through here and solve this, I'm going to add 5. And I'm going to do it on both sides. So that gives me 1/3 x greater than or equal to 9. Well, you've got to counteract that 1/3. So that's like saying x divided by 3. So our alternative is to multiply both sides by 3. So these cancel. That gives me x, and that turns into 27. So that's one way to do it. The other way to do it would be to just say, I don't like these fractions. Let's get rid of them. So your common denominator is a 3. So we're going to say everybody times 3. So 3 times -5 plus 3 times 1/3 x and greater than or equal to 3 times 4. So make sure you put him on every term. So 3 times -5 is -15. When you get here, the 3 and the 1/3 cancels, and you get x, and that gives me a 12. So if I add 15 to both sides, I'm going to get x is greater than or equal to 27. So one way or the other, I get the same answer. It's just whichever way you prefer to execute it. Okay, we have an item costs $440 before tax, and the sales tax is $22. Okay, so find the sales tax rate. Write your answer as a percentage. Okay, so you're wanting to know how much of the item is actually charged. So if the original cost was $440 before tax, but the sales tax is going to be 22. Sales tax rate, so you want, it's like tax per item. So think of it like that, tax per item. So you want to stack it that way. Your tax is 22, your item is $440. You just need to reduce that, guys. Don't worry about reducing the fraction. You want to literally type it in and go decimal on this because it says type it in as a percent. So we're going to do 22 divided by 440 is, and this is what my calculator gave me. Now, you're not going to type that because it said type as a percent. So remember, percent means we're going to move our decimal 2 places this way. So that is equal to 5%. Okay. So going on to the next one. Translate this sentence into an equation. And it does say underneath, use the variable v for Vita's age, whatever that is. So here we go. The product of 8 and Vita's age is 136. Well, it hinges on, do you know what product means? That's multiply. So we're going to multiply 8 and Vita's age, which is V, and we're going to get, so is means equal 136. And it didn't say anything about solving, it just said write it. So we should be good. All right, then it says graph the line y equals 2. Okay, if it's just one variable, that means it's either horizontal or vertical. You don't have to remember which one. You just got to remember which axis is which. And if you'll look, it's there on the screen. There's a little x and there's a little y. So this is saying get on the y-axis and go to positive 2. So I'm right here. You want to go opposite of the axis you're on. So I'm on the y-axis. So I want to go opposite of that and cut it where y is 2. So that's my line. Okay, for each ordered pair, determine whether it is a solution to 5x minus 3y equals 7. That just means plug it in, guys. You're just going to have to plug it in and test it. So the first number is, they're telling you, first number is x, second number is y. So we're just going to have to work them all out. Be careful with the negatives, though. So the first one is a negative 20, and that's going to be a plus 3 equals 7. So that's a negative 17 equals 7. That is not true. So that would receive a no. Go to the next one. 5 times a negative 6 minus 3 times 2 equals 7. Well, that'd be a negative 30 minus 6 equals 7. That's not going to work. Negative 36 equals 7? No. Go to the next one. 5 times 3 minus 3 times a negative 7 equals 7. So that's going to be 15 plus 21. Oh, I think that's going to be too big. That's, what, 36 equals 7? That's not happening either. So far, we don't have a match. Let me just squeeze the other one over here. 5 times 5 minus 3 times 6 equals 7. So that would be 25 minus 18 equals 7. We finally found us a winner. That's the one we want. But you just have to be patient and go through them all. This says find the slope of the line graph below. Remember from before, slope is rise over run. Now, they were very nice to you because they gave you dots. You didn't have to really look for where it actually went through the little crosshairs. See, it actually crosses there, and it crosses there, it crosses there, and there. But they gave you 2 to work with. So if you work with the 2 that they gave you, it doesn't matter if you go on the bottom or the top. If you will make a little right triangle, you can do that one, or you can come across the top and do it. Either one, it's going to give you the same information. How many blocks did you go up? Did you rise or fall? If you went up, it's a positive number. If it went down from left to right, it's a negative number. So from left to right, this little, if you have a little car on here, use your little car, he's going uphill. So we're going that way. So it's positive, and he went up 2 blocks, and he went over 1, 2, 3, 4. So reduce that fraction, that would be 1/2. There's your slope. Okay, so graph the line with y-intercept of 6 and a slope of negative 1/2. Okay, so y-intercept of 6, that tells you where to start. So get on the y-axis and find 6. Now slope tells me where to go. So whenever it says negative 1/2, that means down 1 and to the right 2. So from the dot that I just made, I'm going to go down 1 to the right 2. And you can repeat that as many times as you want to. Down 1 to the right 2. And so, there we go. There's our line. All right, then it says, give the location of Phoenix as an ordered pair. Well, first I got to find Phoenix. Oh, here we go. Okay, so Phoenix as an ordered pair. It's a lot easier on paper, somewhere where you can write, because my eyes start swimming at a certain point. That looks like it is, that's negative 8. Okay, and then over here, my dot is hitting at 10, I do believe. Now, the question is which order. Remember, this is x-axis, this is y, so we got to go in that order. Negative 8, that is negative 10, because we're down. And you should have expected 2 negatives because we're in third quadrant. Okay, simplify. Now, this is a hard one because of this thing out here. You got to do order of operations. See, it's asking you to do 2 things. This is multiplication, but this part, this term raised to this power, is an exponent. So according to order of operations, you must handle exponents first. So this first grouping just comes down. So just copy that first grouping and just tell it to be patient. You'll get there in a minute. Okay, so take the second group and you're going to take everything in here and you're going to raise it to the second power. So remember, coefficients act like numbers have always acted. So 2 raised to the second is 2 times 2 is 4. But exponents have a special rule. When you raise an exponent to another exponent, you multiply them. So that's 2 times 2 is 4. And then for the y, that's going to be 2 times 2 is 4. For the z, that's 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, so first step done. Now I've got to multiply these 2 terms. Well, that's a negative 1. So again, coefficients work like coefficients have always worked. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. But now when I'm going to multiply like bases, I add my powers. Now this is sneaky. Over here, The x doesn't have a power, that means his power is 1. So if you tend to overlook that and want to borrow y's power instead, if you were thinking that it was 2, no, x's power is 1. You need to put that 1 there so you don't get confused. So I've got a 1 here, I've got a 4 there, that gives me a total of 5. Y has a 2 and a 4, which gives me a total of 6. Z has 3 and 6, which is a total of 9. So now you got it completely simplified. All right, so here we go back to division, and once again, check it out. What are you dividing by? Ooh, that's a binomial, so this is the hard one. We got long division. So let's set it up. We're dividing by 2x plus 1, and we're going to put 6x cubed plus 5x squared plus 13x plus 7 underneath the little house. Let me see if I can shrink my my pen. Okay. All right. Start back over. Ask yourself these questions. What do you multiply 2x by to get 6x cubed? Well, that would be 3x squared. All right. So we're going to say 3x squared times 2x plus 1. We're going to put our answer right here. That's going to be 6x cubed plus 3x squared. So we're going to come in, and let's go a different color. We're going to change the signs, and then we'll add the 2 lines. So the first column goes away, and the second column gives me 5x squared minus 3x squared is 2x squared. Bring down the next one, and then let's proceed. Do it again. Look, we've got 2x, and we need to turn it into a 2x squared. Well, we need an x. So we're going to do x times 2x plus 1. Put your answer right here. So 2x squared plus x. This is where you're going to change your signs and then add. First column goes away. 13 minus 1 is 12. Bring down your next number. It's like the song that never ends, right? Okay, so last time, 2x times what? Gives me 12x. That would be a 6. So 6 times 2x plus 1. Let's see if I can extend this. Maybe not. Let's see here. There we go. I can extend now. All right. So if I did that, that's going to give me 12x plus 6. Now I have to change my signs, add them up, and that's going to give me a 1. So my remainder is 1. We might have to remember that if I can't see it when I scroll all the way back up. So when it says quotient, quotient is what's up top. 3x squared plus x plus 6. My remainder is 1. I do believe that's how they want you to do it. There are other ways of writing it. That's the reason I say it that way. Okay, for this one, it just seems so simple compared to what we just did. It just says simplify. And there's only a monomial divided by a monomial. So, pretty simple. 36 divided by 4 would be 9. And remember, when your variables are on different levels, you're going to take the difference, so subtract them. 7 minus 4 is 3. It happens to be in the top, so there's absolutely no need to have a denominator. That's all you get. Let's see how hard this one is. Oh, 51 I think we can handle. Same idea, they're on different levels, so subtract. That's going to be b to the 4th. We're done. Over here, we're going to multiply. So you're going to distribute 5x times x is 5x squared. 5x times a negative 8y is a negative 40xy. Just go ABC order. And then when we multiply here, we're going to say plus 4, and again, ABC order, xy. And then when we multiply, it's going to be negative 32y squared. Now, we do need to put our like terms together, and we will be done. So let's put these two together, our xy's. Nobody goes with 5x squared. Those two give me a negative 36xy. Don't change your powers when you add or subtract. Only change your powers when you're multiplying, okay? And you can only add or subtract things that have the exact same letter with the exact same power. Okay.